Welcome, modern day mystics, fellow truth seekers, James and Justin, back again with another reaction video. And in this one, we are going to take a look at another Hindu ancient scripture, the Ramayana. This is done by the Great Books in 10 Minutes YouTube channel. So it's going to kind of like summarize the Ramayana for us here. We have never taken a look at this before. This is completely new for us. So yeah, we won't keep you guys waiting. Let's get into it.
Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a new episode of Great Books in 10 Minutes. By the end of this episode, you will know all that you need about the epic of Ramayana. It is believed that Ramayana was the first poem of the Sanskrit language. It is a beautiful tale of love, loyalty, and faith that takes its readers to an exciting and enlightening journey. Written in 500 BC, the Ramayana is one of the largest ancient epics in world literature. It is about 480,000 words, which is 4 times the length of the Iliad. During the ages, the heroes of Ramayana have been revered amongst the people of India, and because it represents the teachings of the ancient Hindu sages, it has shaped many of the beliefs of the Hindu religion. The main themes of the Ramayana are divinity, love, loyalty, heroism, resilience, and sacrifice. Valmiki is known as the first poet of the Sanskrit literature. There are not many facts known about his life, but the legends attributed to him are each like a great epic on their own. At first, he was devoted to his family, but during a long drought, and for the sake of his hungry children, he started robbing people that he found in the forest. One day, when he was bathing in a stream, he saw 2 cranes mating. The beauty of the scene and the happiness of the birds felt pleasing to him. Suddenly, one of the birds got hit by an arrow and died right away. The other bird, seeing its mate falling, screamed in pain and died of shock. Outraged by what he had just witnessed, Valmiki cried and composed what is believed to be the first poem of the Sanskrit language. Other legends mention that Valmiki heard a voice telling him that what he had just said was a poem and that he should abandon banditry and dedicate his life to poetry. Long ago, in a country called Kosalas, there was a fair king named Dasarata. The king had 3 wives, but none of them could bear a child for him. Worried for the future of his kingdom and hoping to have a true heir to his throne, he performed a fire sacrifice to the god Vishnu. As a result, his wives each gave birth to a boy. The older one was Rama, then Bharata, and Lakshmana. These 3 princes, who were to a certain extent hosts to the essence of the supreme entity Vishnu, were all revered in the kingdom, but among them Rama soon found a special place in his father's heart. A few years passed, and the boy became a young man. One day he heard a story about a girl named Sita in the neighboring kingdom of Janaka who was unparalleled in beauty. Sita's father had decided that whoever could lift and wield a heavy bow, which was given to his ancestors by god Shiva himself, could ask for Sita's hand in marriage. Rama, who was now burning in desire to see Sita, traveled to her country and asked for the bow. When they brought it to him, he lifted the bow and wielded it with ease. Then he drew the string and the bow broke from his godlike strength. Rama then married Sita and returned with his wife to his country. Rama's father, King Dasarata, who was old now, chose Rama as his heir. The decision was welcomed by everyone, and both the kingdom's assembly and the people supported him. On the night of the great celebration, one of Dasarata's wives claimed 2 boons that the king had granted her a long time ago. For the first one, she demanded Rama to be exiled into a faraway land for 14 years, while the succession passes to her son Bharata. Heartbroken by this betrayal, and bound to his given word, King Dasarata agreed to his wife's demands.
I just wanted to check in because we're getting near the halfway mark, and I was laughing because you said you have a hard time finding thumbnails for us where we're not making an angry face, and I look over and both like angry looking at it. But also, I just want to say, since we're paused, that story with the swans where they were making love and it was all beautiful, and then an arrow came in and killed them. What do you think that's about?
Like kind of like a metaphor. Or
Yeah.
some type
What do you
of
think the point
deeper...
of that is?
Ooh, well, you could take it in a lot of ways, but the stifling of something beautiful and how the natural thing, the natural course of our world can just sometimes stifle out, take something so beautiful away in an instant. So maybe it has something about appreciating, things while you have it, things that are in the now,
or just accept. I don't know, because it's interesting. It'd be interesting to hear the poem that he actually wrote based on it, right?
Yeah.
But
and I think a lot of these are sung like when people, I don't know if it's I think they do this with the Vedas, but I don't know if they do it with the Ramayana, where they'll like sing the poetry out.
Yeah.
Maybe we should do some reactions on that. It might be interesting.
For sure. Let us know in the comments if you'd like to see that.
Yeah.
But also just maybe if you accept, you're like watching these two swans go at it and you're like, oh, that's beautiful. And then the arrow comes in and obliterates one of them. Instead of like getting all dramatic about it, just realizing like, yep.
Yeah. Yeah. There's lots of ways.
Maybe there's even something beautiful about the arrow killing the thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I won't go too dark. I'll dial it back. But that's some intermediate level stuff. Is when you get into the realization of like the accepting of even the arrow.
The brood. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. No, that's good stuff.
Rama accepted his father's decision with absolute obedience and prepared to leave the kingdom. When Rama asked Sita to stay and not follow him, his devoted wife replied, "The forest where you dwell is better than the palace for me, and the palace without you is a burning hell." So the prince, accompanied by his wife and brother Lakshmana, left their kingdom and set foot towards the unknown. Rama, Sita, and Lakshmana traveled south and built their homes on the banks of a river. There they were visited by a demon named Shurpanka, who was the sister to Ravana, king of demons. She at first tried to seduce Rama, but when he did not fall for her spell, she tried to kill Sita out of jealousy. Lakshmana captured her before committing the murder and cut her nose and ears. When the news reached Ravana, king of demons, he plotted to ruin Rama by capturing Sita. He ordered one of his minions to take the form of a golden deer and appear before Sita. Mesmerized by the beauty of the deer, Sita asked Rama to capture it for her. Rama followed the deer into the forest and left his brother.
That's an interesting little factoid, interesting little thing to note, is that the demons like this.
Yeah.
So many times their deities are like this. Their eyes look more like this.
Yeah.
Sort of half closed. But the evil guy's eyes are bulging out of his head.
Yeah, it's like, what do they usually, that's funny because like, what do they need to be afraid of? Everyone's afraid typically, of demons, they're afraid, but maybe this is kind of suggesting that they're aware of the light source or that, the thing out there that can stifle or stop them. Yeah. So that's why they're so consciously aware. Now, I don't want to abandon you on that arrow thing because I was thinking a bit more about that. I think based upon perspective, someone's darkness can be someone's light. Maybe that thing that maybe that guy's family hadn't eaten for a month, and him catching that bird with his arrow to feed his family saved them.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. No,
so like
that's like just a natural truth of life.
Yeah. So like that. I just not to leave you out there with that arrow thing, but yeah, I get you. I hear you.
Yeah. I mean, it's true. And in that way, maybe you can look at some of the things that you deem brutal, no matter what they are, and kind of be like, maybe that's a level of ascension is when it helps to see the contrast, to poetically even think about it. But then also just to reiterate on this thing with the demonized thing, I just noted that it was interesting, the contrast. They're good guys, or their non-demon deities seem to be like sort of with batted eyes. And then the demon's eyes are bulging. I don't know if they're afraid or angry, or if that just shows like insanity. Yeah. Like, look at how insane his eyes are.
Well, doesn't calm eyes usually suggest like something like I've got this in control.
Tranquility.
Yeah, I'm like everything's under control.
Right. But there could be a bad guy with calm eyes. He's on a lot of heroin. I do drug deals like you wouldn't believe. And then some good guy's like, please listen to me. You can tell he's bad because his eyes are bulging out of his head.
Yeah, it's true.
For Lakshmana to protect Sita. After a few hours, Sita started hearing Rama's voice, calling her name and asking for her help. Despite Lakshmana's opinion that the best course of action is to follow Rama's order and stay in put, Sita insisted that he must go out and look for him. Lakshmana agreed, but before leaving he drew a line around their home and cast a spell that would stop anyone from getting in, but allowed people to exit. When Lakshmana left, Ravana appeared before Sita in the guise of an old man and tricked her to leave the cottage to help him. But when Sita stepped out of the boundary of the spell, Ravana showed his true self and kidnapped her. Rama and Lakshmana heard about what happened to Sita from a vulture, and they immediately moved to rescue her. During their search to locate Sita, the two brothers find their way into the kingdom of monkeys and meet Hanuman, the great hero of the apes. Rama found out that the monkeys were in the middle of a civil war, and the false king named Vali had managed to take over and banish their rightful leader from their homeland. After helping the apes to reclaim their country, Hanuman, who later became Rama's greatest devotee, assumed a gigantic form and took a huge leap towards Lanka, the country of demons. He located Sita in a grove where she was being threatened by demons into marrying Ravana. Hanuman gave Rama's ring to Sita and offered to rescue her, but Sita refused his help and said, "When Rama was not there to protect me, the demon king kidnapped me, and now when the demon king is not present here, you are going to rescue me. Rama himself must come and avenge the insult for my abduction." When they received Sita's answer, Rama and Lakshmana formed an army and moved to save her. When they arrived at the southern sea, with the help of the apes, they built a bridge and crossed the water into the land of demons. A massive battle ensued, and Lakshmana got injured by a powerful weapon. To find the cure, Hanuman traveled to Himalayas. However, no matter how much he looked around, he could not identify the one specific herb that he was looking for. So he morphed into his huge form again and carried the entire mountain with him. In the final battle between Rama and Ravana, the prince shot a divine arrow that had the power of gods in it, which hit Ravana in the heart and killed him. When Rama met his beloved Sita again, she insisted on going through with the test of fire to prove her chastity and silence the rumors about her purity. A sacrificial altar was arranged and Sita jumped into the fire. After a few moments, Agni, Lord of Fire, appeared in all his glory and raised Sita unharmed to the throne, attesting to her innocence. Rama, Sita, Lakshmana, and Hanuman went back to Kosalas. Rama was coronated as the king and people rejoiced at his return. A few peaceful years followed until rumors concerning Sita's purity, mostly spearheaded by one of Rama's ministers, started to spread again. Spies informed Rama that people are now questioning his choice in making Sita his queen. Rama at first did not heed the rumors and resisted them, but when the pressure increased, he doubted his queen and ordered Lakshmana to take Sita to a forest and leave her there. Sita found her way into an ashram or monastery and gave birth to Rama's two sons, Lava and Kusha. After a few years, the sage of that ashram suggested that Rama's sons should travel to their father's kingdom and tell the story behind Sita's life to the common folk. While facing many difficulties, the two brothers found their way into their father's palace. Rama recognized them instantly as his sons and regretted his cruelty and reversed his order in regards to Sita. When the queen returned, once again the rumors started brewing, and the same complicit minister suggested another purity test. Outraged by the continuous accusations and heartbroken by the constant cruelty against her, Sita begged Mother Earth Bhumi to rescue her from an unpleasant life. In a dramatic moment, the earth split open and Goddess Bhumi appeared before everyone. She testified to Sita's purity, but this time announced that because she has suffered so much in her life while being faithful and innocent all the time, Sita is now amongst the gods. Afterward, Rama ruled for many years and built a prosperous country for his people, and eventually he left this world with his brothers. In the afterlife, he assumed his Vishnu form and joined Sita, who was now in the form of goddess Lakshmi.
So is that where Lakshmi came from?
At the very end there, that's the only
That's
point
her
of
origin
kind of-
story?
I guess, something like that. Very interesting. Well done. Good for a summarization of such a giant text. And I love the fact that we're seeing more and more of these videos because we need them over here in the West, or those who speak English, because it's very hard trying to put all these stories together because there's so much. And I imagine because it's coming from a place of poetry, I bet you even when you read it in English, it probably does not come out as clear as the way that these stories are being put out. And I was thinking about kind of like the beauty of the artwork and stuff, especially at the beginning with those old temples. You know, doing some visual movies. It'd be nice to see. I watched a bit of Kalki. Remember we watched that Kalki trailer? It's on Netflix. So I watched a portion of it. Sometimes for me, it's a little hard to watch. I hate when they do dubbing. I'm sure with AI, it's going to get better in the future. But I'd love to see some, like, there's a lot of visuals you could have done. You could make this into a movie and, do some really bang-up jobs with especially
Yeah,
the
I
stuff
agree.
that they
Especially
have
the
now.
ancient stuff. Like, I every now and then I wish they would do a movie that was set in ancient times. Like, this is like 100,000 years. Like, it's before we had the laws of physics that govern the world now. Like, things were different.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I think that would be cool. They did something similar to that at the beginning of 3,000 Years of Longing. There's a movie called 3,000 Years of Longing or something. And it shows ancient times, and like the rules were just different back then. Like Solomon plays this weird instrument that's like alive. And
Yeah. Oh yeah. And with all the interesting people, especially like Hanuman, and they said there was like the island and the island of like devils or whatever. So much cool stuff there. Like there's really good stuff. But there's always something gained from these stories. We touched a bit there on the arrow one and the birds. But there's lots more we could talk about here. But anyway, hopefully you guys liked our reaction on this. If you did, don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, share with a friend, and everyone. Until next time,
stay spiritual.